Hello and welcome to the Total Football Podcast. My name is Declan Harron. Today I'm ringing in the new year with Andrew Conway.
Hello.
On this week's edition we give our predictions for the year ahead. We are coming to the end of this season's festive fixtures, and what a delight they have been. We've seen such classics as Chelsea 0, Everton 0, Manchester United 0, Southampton 0, and who could forget Huddersfield 0, Burnley 0.
Truly amazing matches, each and every one of them. Jim Beglin put it yesterday, I was watching commentary on NBC for the Arsenal West Brom match. He said, it's all part of the game. Nil-alls. He just commentated, I think it was still on that match, and it was on his third consecutive nil-all. He was commentating on, and he was still up first. He was still enthusiastic.
That's classic Jim Beglin, though. You gotta love Jim Beglin. I always enjoy his commentary.
He does hate Duncan Castles.
Most people seem to, alright.
Yeah. It's a common
thing. With the festive fixtures, it seems like everyone's too tired. Like, we've seen Stoke rest players against Chelsea because they know they're going to lose.
No, they knew they were going to win against Newcastle. Listen to Mark Hughes. He said he'd be a genius when they beat Newcastle today.
Newcastle won today?
They did. They won comfortably in the end. Well, 1-0. But apparently it was an awful match away from home for Newcastle. It
was a good win for Newcastle.
Yeah,
they need to pick up points.
Mark Hughes was gesticulating during most of the match.
As he does.
Arms in the air. And John Bruin, the journalist of ESPN, tweeted there, no matter what, it won't be Mark Hughes' fault.
Yeah.
So, as we record, Mark Hughes is still in the job at Stoke.
Yeah, by the time it's uploaded, he could easily...
He'll probably be gone. This podcast will be out of date by the time that we listen to it.
So who will be the next Stoke manager?
Well, Marco Bielsa's available.
Of course.
That's a start.
New year, new Marco Bielsa.
Well, there's players there that could definitely, improve under Marco Bielsa.
Such as...
Shaqiri, technically minded small players who like to run a lot.
What about Ryan Shawcross?
Ryan Shawcross is right up there. He had Laporta at Athletic Bilbao. It's similar players. Plus, apparently, Shawcross is wanted by Man City. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so is Johnny Evans. So
one of them is probably going to sign for Man City in the...
They need to fill up that English player quota.
They probably do, to be honest.
But that brings us nicely into news, because speaking of 0-0s and speaking of Manchester City, their amazing winning run has come to an end. 18 games. Pep didn't quite reach the 19 win mark in a row that he got at Bayern Munich.
No. He fell just a little bit short.
He'll be heartbroken.
Well, he'll be heartbroken for other reasons. Did you see the footage of him sitting at Roy Hodgson?
I did see that picture. That was fantastic.
Just having the chat, talking about different things in their footballing lives. It was nice to see a little, bit of joviality.
Yeah, it looked kind of like someone talking to their granddad. You see the old granddad stories or something.
In the war we didn't have football.
Yeah.
It looked like Roy Hodgson, 72-year-old Roy Hodgson.
But this was 0-0, but it was actually one of the 0-0s filled with a bit of controversy, because first of all, Gabriel Jesus went off with an injury. He was stretchered off. Then a penalty was given for Crystal Palace, then it was missed, and then not 30 seconds later, Kevin De Bruyne and Jason Puncheon go off injured because of a hard tackle from Jason Puncheon. Still no word on Kevin De Bruyne.
No, the first option of that is Gabriel Jesus is out until
2 months at least.
2 months at least. There's talk in Brazil that he's going to be out of the World Cup squad.
Yeah, that's a
big hit for Brazil.
Yeah,
in the World Cup, considering they don't really have
Fred.
Fred is still... I don't think Fred is... I think he's retired from international football.
They can bring him back. The Wayne Rooney role, maybe?
Yeah, they could bring him back. I don't see Fred coming back. So they could be in trouble up front, Brazil, for that. Just having that final bit of, class to finish moves off. When it comes to De Bruyne and Jason Puncheon, it's good to see Jason Puncheon still in the Palace side despite his legal issues. And, for now anyway, there's talk, there's a lot of uproar about the refereeing decision because it was given as a yellow card, which means it cannot be
retroactive. Yeah, that's the word.
It can't be retroactive suspension and punishment for.
Yeah, and this is kind of like what we talked about a few weeks ago after the Tottenham Manchester City match. This is just an extension of that, because we saw, was it Daryl Murphy for Newcastle last week put in a tackle that also should have been given a red card that wasn't, against Manchester City. Man City have been really unlucky in the last month.
That's what happens when you're the best team. It's not just
the refs don't care.
Well, it's not that the refs don't care. It's, the teams... Well, it is a bit of the refs don't care. Teams...
there's no protection for the Man City
players.
No,
and the refs, it's open game. A lot of these teams are just inferior in quality to a Man City, a Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham.
Yeah.
The best teams in the league. So
yeah, there's going to be more fouls, but
they
when
foul and they kick
so...
and they break up the play, and the refs think it's part of the game, so they let it go on. And it's you see, the problem isn't with the chase and punching. It is obviously a bad challenge and everything, and it was very unfortunate because he didn't actually make a huge amount of contact to actually cause a serious injury to Kevin De Bruyne and maybe even himself. But the problem is the refs let it go throughout the whole match. That was in the what minute was that?
That was the 91st minute.
91st minute, so there's 90 minutes before that where the players thought this was okay to do.
Yeah.
Like, the penalty alone that was given for Crystal Palace was very soft. It was Raheem Sterling with a light push. And Zaha, I think it was, went down.
Yeah, Zaha went down. He's not going to be punished by the FA, they announced today. But
for diving.
For diving, yeah. But I wonder if they scored, would it be a different story?
Maybe, yeah, it would. It would have ended that, but then Kevin De Bruyne wouldn't have been injured. I think, if you're being honest, I'd say Guardiola would have taken the defeat to keep De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, like, he's the best player in the league so far.
At the moment he is, yeah.
Like... If he could be out for the rest of the season, like if he.
Well, we'll see what it is. As he said, they haven't announced it, which is a bad sign. If they're keeping their hearts close to their chest,
like it was a leg-breaking tackle. Like, not saying that he has broken his leg, but he could have.
No, I think it's in. I know what you're saying.
Or even
but
maybe
I think
a fracture.
Worse. It's probably worse than what you're saying, but it's not a fracture because of the way the contact was. The punching didn't make direct contact. Bone on bone. There wasn't a pivot where the body would break over.
Yeah.
It was more of a impact.
Yeah.
That's not the right term, but it's more of a body against body moving, joints moving against each other.
Yeah.
Which makes you think that it might have been ligament or tendons. And
yeah.
Things like that.
Like the worry for Belgium will be like, could De Bruyne be out of the World Cup as well?
Which will put big dampeners in their hopes because they had a fairly strong. The Belgium have had a few losses this week. We haven't even spoken about Lukaku and his head injury, which we don't know what the story is with that team, but all we know is he's not playing on time recording when they're playing Manchester United, playing Everton. Who knows? Concussion is a very hard thing to judge. It can hit people for months, it can hit people for days, it can hit people for a few hours. So you don't know about it. But, Belgium were suffering already this week. De Bruyne is you hope that they're being it's precautionary, the fact they haven't announced it and that they've probably sent him for a scan today. They're waiting for swelling to go down. He was stretchered off, but then he did get off the stretcher to walk down the tunnel. Yeah. Which definitely makes me think it's not broken. If there was a break,
he wasn't walking by himself though. He was.
No, but there wouldn't be any if you've broken
your
leg,
if it's broken, you're not going to walk.
The doctors and the physios, they won't let you walk down the tunnel on their own. While if it's something else that's muscular, maybe it could be just a tear or a sprain or something like that. Ligaments or muscles, which wouldn't be that bad. Although you can walk on a cruciate ligament injury as well. And, it's not advisable, but you're able to walk. Yeah, people
will continue to play after suffering that kind of injury.
But it'll do a lot more damage long term.
Yeah.
And that's the worry, I'd say, for Man City. It's the real issue, as I was saying, the real issue is the referees are letting all these challenges go earlier on. They're not punishing, rough challenges. We were speaking off air there. West Brom, who've played, how many top teams have West Brom played in the last couple of weeks?
They played Arsenal, they played Man United. Didn't they play... They played another one of them, but I can't remember which.
But the thing they're doing is they're rotational fouling, which we've spoken about before, and everyone knows it's in the game. It's when, and they do, every team in the world basically does it when they're playing a better team themselves. They pick out players that they want to foul, and one midfielder will go. Manchester United were doing it last season.
Yeah, against Chelsea in the FA Cup.
Exactly, and it didn't work out for them. Then they got a set red card because the ref that match.
Michael Oliver copped onto it, which seems to be the only case in which that's actually happened.
Yeah, it seems to be, and this is what their team Gareth Barry makes 3, and even had it yesterday. Graham Poll said it on BT Sports coverage that punching should have had 3 yellow cards during the match,
and he would know all about giving a player 3 yellow cards. He would know about,
but in a serious point, he was right that taken in isolation and spread out a decent amount. Refs forget that this player had fouled this other player, and then 30 minutes later he commits another foul. Not serious, but a foul. Yeah. And then 30 minutes after that he commits another foul, and he only gets 1 booking then because the ref remembers the last one. Yeah. While, if they happened one after another, the player would have been sent off. And this happens constantly throughout the matches, like little niggly fouls. Matic did it yesterday, 2 days ago. Or 2 days ago, he did a tactical foul against Southampton when, I forget who it was, Gabbiadini or something like that, got around him. In his own half, he wasn't probably got going anywhere. And Matic just took him out, got a yellow card for it. But that type of foul then happens all over a match all over.
Yeah, like, and that is the standard yellow card.
Yeah, but those fouls cause injuries.
Yeah,
you know, there's
like the safest way to do it is just bear hug the player. That's the safest way I've seen someone do it.
Well, Matic probably did it in that case, but you know, tactical fouling, rotational fouling, it's probably not. You can't really stamp it out of the game because it is clever interpretation. It's getting around the rules, but it's something that I think referees should be aware of earlier in matches. So when crunching tackles come in, they don't let them away with it because it's the first tackle of the match. It's your first foul of the match. Like the amount of times you see referees having to actually justify a booking to a player by saying, you know, counting with their fingers 1, 2, and 3, saying you committed
Mike Dean loves doing that.
Yeah, that you committed 3 fouls. No, if it's a yellow card, it's a yellow card. Matic got a yellow card in that match. He mightn't have got a yellow card if he did that in the first 10 minutes. Yeah,
I actually saw Martin Atkinson give a player a yellow card recently I think it was the 3rd minute of the match. I was actually kind of taken aback for a minute.
Well, Vinnie Jones got a yellow card, I think, for fouling Paul Gascoigne back in the day. It was the quickest he got 5 seconds into the match. Just when it would have been a red card today, a 2-footed challenge off the kickoff. You know, it doesn't happen like that anymore.
What a record to hold.
Yeah.
But the January transfer window opened today as well, officially.
A few transfers already gone through.
Yeah, Virgil Van Dijk is the biggest one. 75 million is a record fee for a defender. Liverpool finally got their man after a protracted transfer saga.
It kind of shows that they're, you know, it was important for Liverpool to get this over the line because it was showing that they still have clout and power, at least in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That they can't just be, you know, stepped on the way that they might actually be being stepped on by Barcelona at the moment when it comes to another player if there is Coutinho.
Yeah, he wasn't in the squad today against Burnley.
The writing's on the wall for that one, it seems. And fair enough, you know, they'll get their money, they've already spent it.
They're looking to bring in Thomas Lamar, maybe.
Maybe, and a few other, you know, Keita is going to come in the summer, so that's basically paid for, you know, the owners don't have to go into their pockets, they don't even have to go into the, you know, the TV fund pockets.
But I was looking at this because I wrote a piece on this, I put it up on the Total Football,
plug his own
.tumblr.com, I think is the URL. It's not really that important, but like I was for doing the piece, I actually did a little research trying to figure out just how much money Liverpool had spent, and I was surprised at how much they had spent. Like, this is including the money for Keita, which is maybe a bit unfair. It's putting it up to 200 million, which is a lot of money. Like, you wouldn't, like, Liverpool in the media are kind of more of a Tottenham. Like,
you don't associate them with
they're seen as a Tottenham level spenders.
You're not associating them with like the Lukaku's and Pogba's transfers that Man United make, or the as Mourinho likes to point out, the fact that Man City can just spend the same amount of money they spend on Lukaku on fullbacks.
Yeah,
you know, that's just they're in a different ballpark.
Van Dijk now is a higher record transfer than any Man City transfer, any Arsenal transfer, or any Chelsea transfer.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I wouldn't have thought that.
No, but that's the market. Ago. That's where exactly. That's where the market's gone in even 6 months.
And Mourinho and Klopp kind of had this war of words over the last few days, talking about how some quotes from Klopp who dismissed Pogba's fee.
Yeah.
But it shows that Klopp has adapted to the market in a way that maybe people like Arsene Wenger or Roman Abramovich haven't.
Yeah, but saying that at the same time, I think Pogba would probably go for double.
Probably, yeah.
What, you know, maybe not double what he went for, but double what Van Dijk's gone for.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the way the game has gone in even 6 months. Like, it's public knowledge. The information's out there that the Premier League teams... Who finished last year? Sunderland?
Sunderland, yeah.
Got 100 plus million prize money for finishing 20th.
Yeah.
They got that. So, you know, if you get 100 million for finishing in 20th, and Liverpool are getting a lot more than that, and they're getting a big share of the TV money.
Yeah, they got
being
Champions
on
League.
The air. You know, they get more money the more times their matches are shown.
Yeah,
Liverpool matches are shown quite often.
Yeah,
so they're getting more money. Like, their transfer spending, I know you're saying pulled out 200 million there, which some of it's next summer.
Yeah, like, they have that money to spend
within the 18 months between, you know, when the beginning of this year or the beginning of last year, 2017 to the summer of 2018, Liverpool will already have made over 200 million. Just in terrestrial TV rights, not to mention overseas rights, not to mention any of their commercial revenue. Like, they're going to be pushing hundreds of millions more than the total transfer outlay, and they're, you know, what else are they going to spend their money on?
Yeah, it is a squad that needs to be improved as well. But
they're spending within their means. I know you're saying it's crazy amounts, but like Man
United, I'm not saying
and Lukaku were spending within their means.
Yeah, I'm not kind of denigrating Liverpool in this. Like, they they need to spend that money. They should go spend that money. Like it's a competitive market. You got to keep up with the likes of Man City.
It's unfortunate. Like it's not in a world where people are homeless and people can't afford to put food on the table. Yeah, it's outrageous that a footballer could cost 75 million when you think that he's probably not going to add that value to the club.
Probably
in
not,
terms of the flip side of it, but at the same time they can absorb that cost because they're making so much money in other ways.
Yeah, like that's just business now.
Yeah, that's just the football, and until the Premier League bubble bursts and there is a stark, readjustment to reality.
Yeah,
this is just going to keep growing. Like the going rate for a player now is 50 to 60 million pounds sterling. Like 75 million. That's the premium they're paying because they want him before the summer. They want him before the end of the season.
Yeah.
They probably would have got him for 50 or 60 if they'd moved properly in the early summer last year.
Yeah, 60 million was kind of the figure Southampton were reporting.
Exactly. And now that's where their 75 is where it grew to. That's kind of where it is at the moment.
What other signings do you see happening in the Chinese transfer window?
Well, the fact that you mentioned Gabriel Jesus and
Kevin De Bruyne
are out. I imagine Man City have to make a signing. They've been linked with defenders anyway to give cover for,
as we mentioned.
Yeah, for Stones, injury prone. Victor Kompany may as well be retired.
Yeah,
because he comes back and then he goes again. He comes back. You don't know if he's ever going to play 2 matches
in a row.
Otamendi has been playing very well for Man City this season, but he is a liability.
Yeah, he still has a mistake in him.
He does. So they're looking for some kind of defensive cover experience Premier League to kind of give them that big bolster in defence. And Johnny Evans has been linked again because Johnny Evans was linked with every big club except for the one he came from, Manchester United, and especially the way West Brom are doing. Like West Brom have some good players and it's very bad for them to be where they are at the moment.
Yeah,
they got a draw. Alan Pardew's managed 4 draws,
a couple of defeats,
no wins yet in his tenure as West Brom manager. They're rooted to the foot of the table, aren't they? No, they're
Swansea. 19th. Yeah,
Swansea. With that draw yesterday, they overtook Swansea. But they were at bottom at Christmas. They're probably going to go down.
Yeah,
I have to say. So if I was Johnny Evans, if I was Kieran Gibbs, if I was
it's a good time to get out.
Eric Barry, some of the good players that they have at that club, I would try and get out as quickly as possible.
And you don't see Alexis Sanchez moving to.
Well, that's the other big one as well, and it's yet to be seen. And we have to kind of wait and see about Kevin De Bruyne. But if I was Man City, and if I was Arsenal in this matter for that instance, I would get rid of Alexis Sanchez. I think Man City could get Alexis Sanchez for 30 million or less at the moment.
Yeah,
he's got a few months left in his contract.
I think that could be a good deal for all parties involved.
Yeah, I think everyone would be happy. I think Arsenal would be happy to see the back of Alexis Sanchez this moment. There's been talk of infighting. There's been leaks to the newspapers.
Yeah, that happened just this week after the Crystal Palace match.
Was it The Guardian were reporting among other
sources? The Guardian were the first I saw reporting.
Yeah, and they had there was talk, they were giving the full information on the fallout from that Burnley bust up they had last April, and it was being briefed to the press this week.
Yeah.
After Crystal Palace match where the first goal that Alexis Sanchez scored of a double, none of the back four.
Yeah, you could see. I think it was Thierry Henry on Sky was highlighting
the Koscielny one, where Koscielny sit back, and he was the person who had the reporter bus up with him in Burnley in April. Yeah. So certainly Koscielny's not on his good side. Although they made it a point to celebrate yesterday when. When
that's kind of like
Koscielny's off the pitch at that point, but
kind of like the Cavani, Neymar stuff back at the start of the season.
Exactly, they're making it's politics. It's it's all imagery. It's optics.
Yeah, make it look good, but everything is actually not okay in the background. It might seem
exactly, and I think it would suit all parties if Sanchez were to leave the club, and it certainly would suit City, who would give them It
would allow them to try bring in Thomas Lemar, like we saw. Like he's been linked to Liverpool, but he's also been linked with Arsenal. The two clubs are fighting over him.
There was a deal almost done with Arsenal in the summer.
They just couldn't sell, or they just couldn't get it done over the line last minute.
Yeah, and that's why Sanchez didn't go to Man City in the first place for 60 odd million. Like Arsenal, as we were talking about revenue earlier, Arsenal made record revenue, I think over 400 million last year.
Yeah.
They're the second highest revenue in the Premier League behind Manchester United.
Yeah.
They spend nothing.
Yeah, they kind of spend the least amount, really.
They do.
Besides maybe Tottenham.
When you consider how much money they make.
But they are still spending, it's just...
But their wages are higher than Spurs, they're higher than Liverpool. They still have that outlay, they're in the top. I think they're fourth in terms of the wage.
Yeah. I think they're fourth overall in spending.
Yeah, if you add it all up. But they're buying nobody. They're still selling players. They still have a huge for sale list at the club.
There's a lot of dead wood at that club.
There is, and there's a lot of players whose contract comes up. I think we counted before earlier in the season. There are 5 or 6 players at the club who will be in the first team squad that are all of their contracts.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about like new contracts being signed.
No, Jack Wilshere made reference to it. Ozil's still
discussions out. Are to be had.
Santi Cazorla, his career might be over.
Yeah,
there's a few more like that just knocking around the first team, like Petr Cech. You don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on there at all. So it would suit them, I think, to get rid of them, get the money in, and then trying to sign a younger player like Thomas Müller. They can get down to a longer term contract that they can start building another team. But Arsenal's a basket case of a club.
Yeah.
Was it the Barney Ronay? Was it yesterday? And said that was Arsene Wenger's 811th same match. Yeah, he's put out for it. Although he said it was later on, he clarified it's probably half of those.
Yeah, it was a bit harsh.
We're exactly the same, but he's got a point. Like things aren't changing. Arsenal, they'll sell even if they don't sell Sanchez, he's gone at the end of the year, end of the season.
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Better get some money for him.
Yeah, and it would suit Man City. Man City won the league.
Yeah,
like we're not in any. I don't think we're wild saying that. What are they? 14 points clear of second place Chelsea.
Yeah, or what is it? It's 14 points.
14 points. It's over.
Yeah.
Bar some monumental collapse, which is possible.
Pep just pulls a Keegan maybe.
Well, Keegan was never even that far ahead.
True, yeah, but it was Keegan levels.
Yeah, Keegan was only 12, I think, and there was games in hand at that point.
It was later in the season, though.
Yeah.
But what about Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham? Will they bring in anyone?
Chelsea, I think, Chelsea will, because they always sign someone at Christmas, someone small or
it
wasn't Batshuayi, was it?
No,
like Remy, they brought in, I remember one.
Yeah, Fernando Torres, of course.
They like a good winter signing, but
Mo Salah before.
Yeah, that was Mourinho. So maybe we'll come to Mourinho in a second. But like Conte isn't one for chopping and changing too much, and the fact that it's taken Danny Drinkwater this long to actually start integrating into the Chelsea side, he scored a sublime goal there on Saturday. I don't see Chelsea actually making any signings. And I'd say, as we said all season, Conte's on precarious waters.
Yeah.
There's no other pieces I read another piece today about Conte, just happened to be published today about Conte, the desire Conte has to go back to Italy.
I did see that, I think, yeah.
And it's like, if these things are starting to be planted now.
Yeah, I don't think Abramovich is going to want to invest in a manager he doesn't think will be there in 6 months.
And I think both parties are looking for a way out.
Yeah.
Chelsea are playing well recently. They've climbed back up to second very quietly.
Yeah.
They've done their job.
5-0 against Stoke. Sure, it was a second string Stoke squad, but still.
But they've been competent. They haven't been terrible. They play a very weakened Arsenal side on Wednesday night that they'll probably win because, Arsenal are Arsenal.
Yeah.
So they'll probably pull even clear ahead in second place and put Arsenal down to 5th and 6th, which will be good for Chelsea's Champions League hopes next season. Qualifying automatically through the league. I don't see them changing too much, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it seems like Man United might want to sell a few players. Mourinho.
It's very hard to sell players, though.
Yeah, it is. Like, just look at the players Arsenal have been trying to sell. Like, Theo Walcott is the most high-profile player they've been trying to sell. Because the wages is just so high, it's impossible to get rid of.
Who would Manchester United sell?
Well, Mourinho seems to hate everyone there, so I think anyone's on the chopping block. But they don't have a deep
squad. Like, he loaned so many players out. He got rid of a lot of the younger players in the team. He doesn't promote from within.
No.
So it's like, I know people dislike Matthew Darmian. You can't get rid of Darmian. He's the only cover they have for fullback. Daley Blind, I don't know what he's still doing at that club.
Yeah, Luke Shaw's playing against Everton, but he's been, reports have been surrounding him for months now that he's out the door in January.
Yeah, and he's still playing matches.
But as Mourinho said a couple of weeks ago, or not even a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, 300 million is not enough. He's going to want to spend more money.
Yeah, exactly. Like Marouane Fellaini's making intimations away from the club.
Yeah, Mourinho's afraid he's going to leave.
Yeah, and Mourinho's known for putting the knife into some of his players when they don't get along, and like Mata or like Fabregas at certain points.
Yeah,
he might just sell a few of these players if they're reaching the end of their contracts, or try to sell them to make money. So because just to spite them. Yeah,
because he was told that he needs to sell before he can buy a few months back. So it'll be interesting to see.
Like, who would they buy then is the other flip side of it.
They've been linked with a few midfielders here and there, for when Pogba's out, they want to have a contingency. I think Soler at Valencia, or I can't pronounce his name, at Lazio, Savic, Savic.
Yeah.
But Liverpool have been linked with him as well. He's been linked with a bunch of clubs.
But Italy is a very anti-Christmas window transfers. very anti, more so than any other league in Europe.
I think we'll see a lot of talk this January, but I don't think we'll see as many actual signings.
Because I don't see them, getting anybody in of any quality. I know what you're saying. Pogba's injured a lot. Carrick is, who knows if he's ever going to come back, right?
Yeah, I think Carrick's done.
Yeah, and without them, then their midfield is very light in bodies, and Fellaini comes in and out through suspension and injury every now and again, and then you're looking at playing Ashley Young in midfield, you're playing Lingard in midfield, you're playing Rashford in left midfield, as he's done multiple times this season. It is very light. They probably could do with a few bodies in there, but he's not promoting from within. I'm sure Manchester United youth team is probably fantastic.
Yeah, no, sure, we saw with Van Gaal, they have good youngsters there.
But who's Fonsemensa?
They got man of the match against Man City the other day. He's a right back.
No,
don't
that's
see
what I mean. He's
Mourinho
on
ever
loan,
playing. I remember Cameron Borthwick Jackson just for his amazing left foot. Yeah. I think he's at Leeds.
This is the problem Manchester United have. As for Spurs, we've already spoken before about their wage structure, their spending.
Yeah, I don't see Spurs spending.
They'll probably try. I don't see them bringing anyone of any great quality in.
Not this
Ryan
window.
Sessegnon, whether Fulham will let him go before the end. I know that was the issue last season. Is Fulham didn't want to leave. They tried to sign him last Christmas.
Yeah,
and Fulham wouldn't let him join unless he could be loaned back for the rest of the season. Yeah. So Spurs pulled out of the deal altogether and didn't sign him in the summer. So he's back at Fulham again.
Weird.
And now Fulham would likely not want to let the player go unless he could be loaned back throughout the season, so they can make the push for the playoffs.
Yeah, because Man United were linked with Sessegnon
exactly,
as well.
And it'd be the same type of deal with them and Arsenal and Chelsea.
I'd say Man United would actually be okay with loaning him back.
Yeah, you see, you don't know. It's weird. There's a lot more to come, and a lot more transfer talk to come in the next few weeks. I think it's early days yet, and we'll see how a few of the injuries rock up and how the last few days of this hectic festive calendar go through before any other judgments are made on some of the players of these clubs.
Yeah, there's a bit of a break in the FA Cup coming up. That will do us for part one. Join us after the break for our 2018 predictions. It's a new year, Andrew, so it's a multitude of things could happen in the coming year, but we've decided we're going to do... Exactly, so we're going to do 5 predictions each, and hopefully there's very little overlap between our predictions, and hopefully...
Well, if there is, I'll have to come up with them on the fly, that's the rule. So you can play along at home if you want. We're going to have a go at predicting 5 each. I'll go first, and then Declan will follow me, and we'll see how many of these we've got right this time next year when we do the follow-up.
Can I predict how many of our predictions will be right?
You go for it afterwards. So I'll go first, and because I'm going to go first, I'm going to go for the most obvious one. Jose Mourinho will be sacked before the end of the year.
That's out of mine, Jan.
The third season syndrome has already hit this season. Yep. He's blamed the owners already.
The players.
He's attacked the youth at the club for not listening to him. He's attacked the fans for the way they treat some of his players. Not cheering. Not understanding the game. Yeah. He's attacked the referees, as is known to do. He's attacked rival managers, sometimes...
For no real reason.
Yeah, when they're not playing, he attacked Antonio Conte. They weren't playing matches, nor aren't anywhere near each other.
And they're not even subtle digs either. They're really
I don't complain about injuries and then complaints about injuries
for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Mourinho, I could see Ed Woodward staying with him because Ed Woodward seems to be incompetent. Yeah. Allegedly incompetent. I'm not saying he actually is incompetent. It's just
on the footballing side at the very least, anyway.
Commercially, he's fantastic. He's a great accountant. But on the other side of it, it's not going well for him. He needs to direct football. But I don't see Mourinho lasting out this year. I could be proven wrong by Ed Woodward.
Yeah, you never know with him.
I think if they had a proper footballing person in charge, Mourinho would be gone and they'd try and do something different. And let's show,
there's been talks that a director of football will come into Manchester United. Mourinho's even been pushing for one, but the club won't appoint one selected by Mourinho. Yeah. So who knows what's going on there?
Yeah, that's my prediction. What's your first one?
I had that down, but I figured you'd also say.
Move on to your next one.
I did have one extra part of it though. I said he'd be replaced by Marco Silva, but that was.
Well, that's he won't.
Yeah, I just thought maybe he's the flavour of the month. I think that's what Ed Woodward. I think that's Ed Woodward.
Sky sources say Marco Silva is linked. Man United. Ed Woodward's bad for appointing showy. Flavour of the month.
Yeah, I thought he might be.
No, not even for Manchester United. He would go for someone a bit more seasoned.
Yeah, maybe. I couldn't think of anyone more experienced. I didn't think Carlo Ancelotti would. I think he'd be taken by something else.
Well, you'd see. We'll wait and see.
But my first prediction is that Argentina will win the World Cup. I've made this prediction before on a couple other podcasts, but I'm gonna nail it down here as my number one. I think it's Lionel Messi's time.
I don't think they'll win the World Cup.
That's
not a prediction.
Okay,
okay. I had it as a part of a prediction, so I won't use that one. But I don't think Argentina will win the World Cup. I just disagree with you with that. I don't think they have the easiest run.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The group was difficult, but I think if they get out of the group, it'll be a good experience. I just think Messi, it's his time.
I think this is. I agree.
I'm buying into the romance of football.
Yeah. I agree. I think it is Messi's last opportunity to win a World
Cup.
Yeah,
it's certainly his last opportunity.
As the leading player in the
side. I think he'll retire from Argentinian football no matter what happens.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say best for him and his longevity and his continued longevity at Barcelona. My second prediction, to save the World Cup team, is that Brazil will disappoint at the World Cup.
Oh.
That they won't win it.
Surely they can't disappoint in the World Cup after the embarrassment that was the last World Cup.
Well, they got to the semi-finals, which was the best result they'd had since
I don't know, I think they would have taken losing in the quarterfinal 1-0 rather than a 7-1 defeat.
Well, you never know, but there's a lot of hype over them. They won the South American qualifying. They were great in that qualifying campaign. They beat everybody.
Yeah, they were comfortable.
You know, they have a progressive manager in charge now whose name I've forgotten, who replaced Dunga. They
replaced Tite, was it?
He replaced Dunga. Dunga took charge after the World Cup.
Okay.
Oh no, was that his name? Sorry,
I can't remember it now.
I've completely blanked on his name. But, you know, he's brought through a lot of young players. He's brought through, like the aforementioned Gabriel Jesus, but of course he's injured now.
We don't know what's going to happen there.
Coutinho's in the squad now. Players like Willian, very functional players, are still there. Neymar obviously is still there, and he's given him more, you know, kind of. He's not the entire attacking force that he had to be at the last World Cup because Jesus is there, Coutinho's there, and other players are there to support them. But their defence is rocky outside of their fullback.
Oh, we saw that before the 7-1 at the last World Cup, and the defence hasn't changed too much.
Exactly. Their goalkeeper...
Casemiro doesn't seem to be in the side as he should be.
No, Paulinho's there, but, you know... I don't know if Paulinho... I think if you get under those players, a good...
Yeah, well, you have to question their mental toughness,
but they're not even playing Ederson. Ederson doesn't start for...
Yeah, they're playing Alisson instead. You know, Alisson is a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, but Ederson's a better goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think... I don't think they require the talents of Ederson, though. I don't think they're playing...
But as you brought up the key point, their mental fortitude I don't trust. Especially they won't be backed up by a lot of support in Russia. They probably will be well liked by the locals, but I think if they come up against a tough team who know what they're playing and the conditions go against them and a few injuries happen here or there, like the Jesus injury we've already spoken about, they'll be in trouble, and I don't think Brazil will progress beyond the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Like their favorite, one of the favorites certainly.
They always are every tournament. My second prediction is that Zinedine Zidane will be sacked before the World Cup.
Okay, so you've taken one of my predictions there, so well done.
Hey.
So who's going to replace Zidane?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Well, my prediction is just to shoehorn in at your one as well, with it, and this isn't my third one. But that Madrid will go back to the way they were a few years ago before Mourinho, where they're going to be putting in piecemeal managers.
Spanish.
Well, Benitez wasn't really one of these managers, but it turned into one.
Yeah.
But if you remember around the time when Pellegrino was the last of them, where they brought in a manager who was doing well in some other league or some other team in Spain, and they brought him in and they worked for half a season or for a full season, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't win the league, would try to manage the whole team as starters, would underperform, and they'd be sacked. And the next one would come in. It was, you know, think of them now: Juan de Ramos, Pellegrini. No, Pellegrino. Pellegrini?
Yeah, Manuel Pellegrini.
Pellegrini, sorry, I was thinking of the Southampton manager for some reason. Benitez later on. But before Capello, there was that German, Bert Schuster.
Oh, right, okay.
He was at the club for a couple of seasons, and he was a manager. The Galacticos were there, and the Galacticos kind of did their own thing, and he just kind of stood at the sidelines and brought on Guti or Raul every now and again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it worked, and I think they're going to return to that. And it's going to be to the detriment of Madrid football. And I think it'll be a big transition phase for Madrid.
Yeah, because that was one of the Galacticos. Like, that was an era where they couldn't even get out of the last 16 in the Champions League. Like, they struggled.
Yeah. And part of my thing as well is that Madrid are not going to win the Champions League this season. I know they're favourites because they've had the form going into it, because they're still performing in Europe, but I don't see... They'll probably get beyond PSG because PSG are a basket case of a club.
Yeah.
But I don't see them getting much further than that.
And what's your third prediction?
My third prediction now is that, now that you've taken two of mine, this Spurs team will be dismantled and they won't make the Champions League places via the league. So, i.e., they won't finish in the fourth, in top four.
Yeah, they won't finish top four.
And Harry Kane will be sold out.
Is it just Harry Kane will be sold?
No, the whole team is going to be dismantled. It already is. It's already started to happen.
Yeah.
Like, players who were, loyal servants of the club, or, loyal squad players, like Wimmer is he at West Brom now? Or?
I think he's at loan on Stoke. He's on loan at Stoke.
Yeah, Wimmer at Stoke, you can say what you want about him. He was a loyal, he played the Pochettino way, he knew to come in, he knew how to do high pressure, he knew to do passing out from the back. He's gone. Danny Rose.
He's going to be out the door.
Kyle Walker's already gone.
Yeah.
What
about Dele Alli?
I don't know if anyone... See, the problem with Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen I can see going to Real Madrid. Harry Kane I can see going to any of the big clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
Bigger clubs, the galactic clubs in Europe.
That,
Paris are going to... he'd be an ideal replacement for Cavani if that kind of happened.
Yeah,
if he went to Paris Saint-Germain. It would be a big signing for PSG because it would show them that they're not just signing... one big name player. They're actually building a Galacticos-like squad the way that Barcelona did when they bought Suarez or Neymar, and the way Real Madrid consistently...
It'd be huge as well just for English football to see someone go to Paris Saint-Germain.
It would be different for it to be returned to the late 90s or late 80s, early 90s when Chris Waddle went and Glenn Hoddle went and Mick McCarthy went to Lyon. These type of big signings in different leagues. The whole team I can see just falling apart then, and whether Pochettino goes or stays, it could be depending. He's been linked with the Manchester United job. Yeah. And if Mourinho goes and Spurs start to fall apart,
he would be a proper flavour of the month.
He would in a regard, but who else is Man United to choose from? Like you said, Carlo Ancelotti could come in.
Yeah.
You could bring in someone like Thomas Tuchel. You could bring in one of the
He could go to Bayern Munich though.
He could. You could bring in whatchamacallit at Nice. Lucien Favre at Nice, managers that could actually build something or change things, or because it's an old saying now. Manchester United are in transition, and they consistently are. Despite spending 300 million, they have to figure out what's happening with their goalkeeper, because David De Gea is being constantly linked abroad. They have to figure out what's happening with their defence, because I know you like Phil Jones. He's not good enough. Chris Smalling is not trusted, and he makes mistakes. Luke Shaw is apparently going to be sold pretty soon. Yeah. They don't have a right back. Antonio Valencia's getting on.
Yeah, and he's injured now.
Michael Carrick is gone. Whenever he'll come back, who knows? Andrew Herrera isn't, he would not be playing for Real Madrid or Bayern Munich.
Yeah. Although he was linked with Barcelona at the start of the summer.
That's a different... It's because of the way he plays. But, throughout the team, there's weak links in there. And I'm not saying that other teams don't have those weak links at all. We go through every team and analyse it the same way. But Manchester United are at the top table, if you know what I mean.
They're a team of squad players.
Yeah. And they need a united front, if you forgive the pun.
Yeah.
To try and, figure out what football they're playing and then fit.
Yeah, because there were talks this week that Mourinho was actually overwhelmed at how much of a mess Manchester United are. He was really surprised. The task is much bigger than he anticipated.
Isn't a project manager.
No, he's not.
He took over at Porto. Was probably his hardest task, but they had more money than everyone else in the league.
Yeah.
And then they just bought everyone else in the league, and then they played very well to win the 2 European trophies they won back-to-back seasons. Then he goes to Chelsea, who had just missed out on the league title, losing to the Invincibles Arsenal team, who'd done very well. They got to the Champions League semi-final and had an entire league-winning team. Bar, I think Mourinho signed one or two players that season. They had the league.
Did he bring in Drogba?
Did he bring in Drogba that season?
Because wasn't Drogba part of the Monaco team, or not Monaco, Marseille team?
Maybe he was, yeah. But that was the big player he brought in. But Petr Cech was brought in, I think, as well. I could be wrong, but I think he was. So there was a couple of things he added to it that obviously ensured Chelsea won the league. But that there was a team there that was already up, And then he goes to Inter. When Inter have no competition in the whole league.
Yeah, they were on the back of two.
They had more money than anybody else.
Two, if not three, Serie A titles up to that point in a row.
They'd been awarded 3. I think they'd actually won 2, but they'd been given 3 from the the Capciotla, whatever you say.
Yeah, the scandal.
The scandal from 2006. And Mourinho he did very well to win the Champions League, no question about that.
Yeah.
And he goes to the richest club in the world, Real Madrid, who have Cristiano Ronaldo among a wealth of, in every single position they had world-class players. Some of the positions they had 2 world-class players. And then he goes to Chelsea, who would just, they'd won the Champions League, they come back, they had just spent a lot of money, and then he had a whole season where they got to be crap, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he got to build his own team, and then they won the league the following season when every other team underperformed and Chelsea crawled over the line.
Yeah.
That's the teams he's got. He's never had to actually go in and, okay, this is a mess. This team just finished what? They finished 5th when he took over?
5th, yeah.
They finished 5th, and he was like, okay, I have to fix this. And where did he finish last season?
6th.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea of what he's done, what he's been given. And he's not the manager for the job. Like, he might have been the manager for the job to take over when
Ferguson,
because they'd won the league, and he still had like core players there that could have done something for that one season.
Yeah, and
beyond that, it probably would have
been able to bring in a couple players.
He could have, and they could have, at least challenged. But now, I don't think it's a job for him, and it could be a job for a project manager, which Pochettino is.
And whose prediction are we on now? Is mine?
Is it mine or is it yours?
You did your third one, wasn't it?
I just said Spurs.
Yeah, okay. You took one of mine. I said Dele Alli would go for over £100 million.
I disagree with that entirely. So I don't think anyone will pay the wages. Like, Dele Alli isn't.
But he's not on huge wages. So
if you want big wages, maybe I don't see what big team he would fit into, and I don't see one of the teams abroad taking.
I think he'll push for a move.
Oh, I think he will.
And
I don't
think
Manchester
a club
United,
like Manchester United would just buy him for the name.
Pogba's a better version of Dele Alli.
Yeah, but he's got a name, and I think that could be enough for Manchester United.
Yeah, maybe.
But my actual prediction is going to be Mesut Ozil will stay at Arsenal.
Oh.
I think there are not many clubs that are interested in him. Like we've seen.
You don't
Sanchez.
think Bayern Munich are building space for him?
I don't think they are. Like, why wouldn't they just sign him in the summer, or why aren't they linked with him now when they could agree a contract with him?
Well, they might be. We don't know. He's injured at the moment, so we don't know what's he doing on his injury break.
He hasn't been linked with any clubs in the last 6 months, which and he seems happy at Arsenal.
Yeah. And
I think if they just sit down and have contract talks, I think if they make Champions League, he'll stay.
Yeah, maybe. He's still like within contract age of getting.
Yeah, and like contract. If they don't, like selling Alexis Sanchez kind of frees up funds for him to take on a higher
and I think
wage.
I think he's more crucial to the future of Arsenal than Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez, of course, an excellent player. And he brings a lot of goals and assists, but he also leaves a hole in the team. And if you play Alexis and Ozil, you have 2 holes in the team because they really defend unless they have to.
Yeah.
And, they don't do a lot off the ball. And I think you can afford one of those players in modern game.
And I think just Ozil suits Arsenal better. Like, he seems happy, as I said. Like, did you see the video of him trying to nutmeg Danny Welbeck? Like,
off the wall.
Off the wall. It was quite impressive piece of technical skill. But like the two,
Danny Welbeck, though.
Danny Welbeck. The two of them were having a laugh, though. You could see.
Yeah, he seems to fit into the.
Whereas Alexis Sanchez, he's thrown a hissy fit here and there.
He's not well liked in the.
As you mentioned, the infighting, of course. Like, I just don't think I think Alexis Sanchez isn't long for Arsenal, but I think Ozil has a future at that club.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. It could happen. I do think that the fact that Vidal is going to leave Bayern Munich. I know he's a different midfielder, and Muller is apparently having a weird career transition at the moment. You don't know what his.
Well, they do have Jupp Heynckes who loves Thomas Muller. So.
Yeah, but he's kind of injured and doesn't know. His future's in doubt. He's not scoring like he.
I don't think he'd leave Bayern Munich though.
I wouldn't put it past. Like, he could be off to another challenge somewhere else. He has won everything he could win at Bayern.
I think he just likes the club, though.
He does. I think he's a fan of the club, and Ozil isn't. He's from Gelsenkirchen. Although he did play for Werder Bremen instead of Schalke. But, I think Ozil could fit the Bayern Munich, and I think he would be happy in Germany. But, as you said, he's happy in
it makes sense
well.
for him to go to Germany. I just don't think. I don't think he'd go to Bayern. Yeah, not now.
Yeah, maybe. Well, okay. Well, I better go on my next one then on the Arsenal team. Is that Arsene Wenger will announce his departure from Arsenal in 2018.
In 2018?
Yeah. In the year.
Yeah.
Now, whether he goes in the summer,
or
he announces to go this time next year.
Okay, yeah.
Or this
time I can see that.
10 months, 11 months' time. That Wenger will announce that he's going. Like, the club have already started. Like, they've done what Manchester United didn't do. They've started doing it. They've appointed a director of football that they're not counting.
Yeah, they're doing a lot more work behind the scenes than United were doing.
They have created a new scouting network with a new director of scouting.
Yeah, they brought in someone from Barcelona, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Dortmund as well. Yeah,
director of football is from Dortmund, or director of recruitment is from Dortmund.
Yeah.
They brought in a lawyer to do negotiations. That's a lot more experience with doing negotiations.
But what about Dick Law? It's in his name.
Dick Law's gone. He's come back to America.
It's in his name, though.
I know. But they've, apparently there was meetings going on last week, and they were the first of their kind, where Wenger was not involved in these meetings.
Yeah.
It would be the coaching staff, or it would be the scouting network, or it would be the, kind of technical football side of the club were having meetings with their inferiors in the club, their subordinates.
Yeah.
And Wenger wasn't present, and they were being led by these other people. So it makes you think that Wenger's letting go of some of his duties.
Yeah.
That he was very hands-on on everything.
You need to do that if he's coming to the end of his time.
Which makes me think that they're preparing for it, which was inevitable. But I think in the next 12 months now, whether that's in the summer, if they manage to win another FA Cup, or win the Europa League, or do something, or qualify for the Champions League in the top four, something to give them, a high to go out on.
Yeah.
Or whether it's
I think
November, December next year, Arsenal are tipping away there in fifth, in between the places of third and sixth.
Yeah.
As they always do, and they announce that Wenger is departing, but we're going to bring through. You never know. Steve Bull, Gary Monk, these weird managers. Not weird, but
Owen Coyle, maybe?
Owen Coyle, managers from within that they're grooming to bring through. Or, that manager that was at Aston Villa. What was his name?
Remy Gard,
or someone like that who knows Wenger and knows the
China
club.
now.
Maybe. Or they're going to bring in someone like Carlo Ancelotti and, have a transition year or something like that. I think that'll happen before the end of the year.
Interesting. My fourth prediction is that Shakhtar Donetsk will make the Champions League semi-finals.
Ooh, that's a good one. Who's in there?
They're playing Roma in the last 16, who we've discussed plenty times before how Roma just have a penchant for collapsing in a European stage.
The only Shakhtar Donetsk are such an odd club. Where they don't play at home. They haven't played at home
for the last 4 years.
Yeah, because Donetsk is in Crimea.
So that means they get away goals for both legs. So that means they'll definitely get to the semis.
But they're made of Brazilian teams. They have money. Like it's a very strange situation. Who knows how much longer Shakhtar Donetsk will exist as a club. So it might be a good way for them to go out of existence. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. They have Rome in the next round. The only, apart from the fact that they don't have a home, they're not playing Crimea, they have no fans. It's very weird situation.
Monaco didn't have any fans last season.
True, Monaco never have any fans.
Well, that's true. But they got to the semi-finals last season. That's more my point.
Correct. So it is, it is possible. The only thing, apart from all that I have against them, is they're not playing any competitive football at the moment.
Yeah, that always does seem to bog them down by the time the last 16 does come around.
I know they're going to play friendly.
But they have gotten to the quarterfinals before.
They have, and
then once you get to the quarterfinals, you don't know what to draw. Yeah,
entirely. Yeah, so I can see it's possible, but I think the lack of competitive football is going to count against them.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I still think that they're good enough.
Okay, so for my final one, I've got a choice between the ones that you haven't said so far.
I have one left.
Yeah, I have two left I have reserved ones just in case you would come up with them. Okay, I'll go for this one, and it might make people angry, but it's on. Jurgen Klopp will leave Liverpool.
Oh, interesting!
After another fruitless season at the club, and it'll be different from Mourinho because Mourinho would have left the club kind of in the same way he found it, a bit of disarray.
Yeah, Liverpool will be in a better position.
Yeah, Liverpool. It won't be because Klopp he would have failed from his stated aim of winning things at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, he has been in cup finals that he's lost. Multiple ones.
It's been in, a couple at least.
Yeah, well, the Europa League, and he was in
the League Cup.
And he lost both of them. So, yeah, I think Klopp will leave the end of the season. I think you cannot compete with Man City at the moment. I think it's a bit of that Bayern, Borussia Dortmund syndrome where you couldn't compete with Bayern Munich after a while because they just had so much more than you.
But do you think he will leave to go somewhere else, or do you think he'll just be sacked?
I think he'll just be... No, I don't think he'll be sacked. I think he'll leave his own... Either of mutual consent, that, we can't take it any further, or, maybe...
He could go to Bayern in the summer.
Yeah, that's...
Or he could become the new German team, the new German national team.
He could go to Real Madrid in the summer. Barcelona could still be up in the summer. Arsenal could be up in the summer. Manchester United could be up in the summer.
Well, he couldn't go to Manchester United.
They're unlikely moves. I doubt he'll go anywhere else in England. But, Paris Saint-Germain's probably going to be open in the summer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting projects out there. And
that could be a good one.
I know he likes an underdog story and everything like that, but it's...
So Real Madrid it is.
But it is, for when you're a manager at that level and you're not wasting, because that's unfair to Liverpool and Liverpool fans, but when every club is basically wasting their time at the moment against Manchester City.
Yeah, they're better off focusing on Europe.
Made it very clear earlier in the summer, or earlier in the year, they have state money. Yeah. And I know that's hyperbole and it's not real, and they have as much money as anyone else because they're, they have as much money as any other big team, but they're just managed better. They buy better players and then they play better football, and then that wins.
Yeah, they have a clear plan.
At the moment, they are in form, and that matters so much for actually winning things. And whether they'll win anything outside the Premier League, I don't know. But they're going to win the Premier League. It's going to put a dampener on Liverpool. Even, objectively, Liverpool have been playing the second best football in the Premier League this season. They just can't defend. If they could defend, they'd probably be clear in second place, but they'd still be in second place.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be close to Man City. Even if they hadn't been destroyed by Man City earlier in the year, they'd still be in second place because there's no way they'd be up there.
Yeah, they would. No one can keep the form that Man City has,
and they don't have the players to even compete with it. And I don't think Klopp wants the players to compete with it.
Yeah,
I think Klopp is happy at Liverpool. He seems okay with it, but I think there will be, not that Liverpool fans will want him out, but I think
some of them probably will, just because some fans are like,
they're never happy. That's just the way fans are. Some fans are always like that. But it's just a contrast to it. Mourinho's going to be sacked or leave or something like that will happen. But with Klopp, it'll be something different. It'll be altogether weirder. They'll they want him to stay and he'll leave anyway. Like Pep at Bayern Munich or something like that. Well, Pep failed technically at Bayern Munich. He didn't win the Champions League.
He technically regressed.
Yeah, exactly. Technically speaking, he did, if we keep using the word technically. But he left, and they didn't want him to leave. They wanted him to stay. They'd won the league really impressively for 3 consecutive seasons. There was nothing wrong with him. They got to Champions League semi-finals over and over again. They've been winning whiskers of beating Atletico Madrid to get to a final.
Yeah.
And they were very or get to a semi-final, I think it might have been at that point. Was it a final or semi-final?
I think he got to the semi-final every year, but I can't remember who they got destroyed by Real Madrid in one of the years. That's all I remember.
And Barcelona the other.
Well, yeah. The amazing
and then Atletico Madrid beat them
the
other time. I don't know if they got to the semi that year or was it the quarter-final. But that was just that, that he failed. And I think it could be similar with Klopp. It's like he's taking them as far as he can take them in the current climate.
Yeah.
And that's why he'll leave. That is my prediction. It's out
Liverpool
there. Again, it'll be the same names that we listed earlier for Arsenal, for Manchester United.
Would they bring in a disciple of Klopp?
Could be.
David
Wagner.
Bring in
Thomas Tuchel, David Wagner, Lucien Favre, any of the German ones who
your man at Norwich maybe.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
Farke,
I think they would go bigger than that. I think Wagner is as low as they would go, and I think they would go bigger than that.
Yeah,
because they had the Brendan Rodgers experiment, and Roberto Martinez was tested at Everton as well. I think they returned to someone who has a proven record of actually winning things.
Yeah,
which is what they did with Klopp. So I think they'll go a bit above that level, and maybe Thomas Tuchel, maybe someone out there in Europe would be maybe Rafa Benitez would come back.
Oh, that'd be
something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't.
That'd
say
be a fairy tale for Liverpool fans.
I wouldn't say it's out of the question. I know a lot of Liverpool fans would hate that existence, but it could happen, and I just think that's a sabbatical could do Klopp well after if it doesn't work out this season.
Yeah.
Now, saying that, any of these predictions could be completely wrong.
Oh yeah, most of them probably are.
Liverpool have a good quarter-final draw or a good last 16 draw.
Yeah, and as we said with Shakhtar, anything can happen after that.
Klopp has got to Champions League semi-finals multiple times. Twice, I think.
He got to the final against Bayern,
but he got to the semi then the following year, didn't he? They beat Real, or did they?
I think that was a quarter-final, they lost to Juventus.
Oh, did they? Well, yeah. They got, but he has previous in the Champions League.
Yeah, he's a good record.
They could do it, or they could win the FA Cup, or they could win, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but I think
that's the game that we're playing.
Yeah,
though.
I think these are just out there predictions, and Klopp could leave.
And then my final prediction is a bit of an easy one, but I couldn't really think of many others. That Antonio Conte will leave Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's like saying Man City are going to win the Premier League.
Yeah,
they're both looking for a way out there. Both seem to be happy with the. Conte comes out of England having won the league, having impressed, having shown, brought the 3-5-2 formation back to the front of English football, having made that be an international, use formation again.
Yeah, it's popular, quote unquote.
Exactly. And he'll go back to Italy having, considering that what's the name? I've forgotten the name of the Juventus manager.
Allegri.
Max Allegri went to Juventus and did what Conte did, but did it in a more impressive style against a harder competition, and also managed to get to 2 Champions League finals. It kind of made what Conte did look worse.
Yeah.
And now he's going to come back, and it won't be, he's kind of repaired any kind of reputation errors. Yeah. Well, Allegri may have won the league more impressively than I did, having sold all the players.
Well, he never beat Conte's points record.
No, he didn't, but he did it in a harder league where it was more competitive,
where
teams were more up
and
there.
And he won it several times in a row.
Exactly, the same as Conte. And he also made 2 Champions League finals and another Champions League, quarter-final they lost to Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
Which went to extra time, which was exciting. And
I think it was the last 16,
all while doing, massive construction work on the squad, selling your best player every season.
Oh yeah, the work Allegri has done has been amazing at Juventus.
It has, yeah.
I actually just thought of one of the predictions I could have made. It's not one of my predictions, but I did think this back a few months ago, that Allegri will be the next Bayern Munich manager.
I don't know if he has the German for it, but...
It was a bold one that I thought of.
Allegri would be a good signing for any...
I thought of this while Carlo Ancelotti was still
Allegri's been linked
Bayern,
to Real Madrid before. He's been linked with Arsenal. He's been linked now with Bayern Munich by you. I think he could go to Paris Saint-Germain as well. They will probably be looking for a new manager. Yeah. And Allegri will, he has that European track record, which
that's what they desire most.
They want European recognition. They don't even, obviously they want to win it, but even if they performed well consistently and got to the last 4, which is, I'd say their stated aim for this season behind closed doors, reach the semi-finals. That's going to be very difficult for them. They have to play
Real Madrid
in the last 16, which is an unlucky draw.
I think they will beat. I think they will beat Real Madrid. I know you maybe don't, but
I think Real Madrid could be beaten by anybody. Yeah. I don't think they're going to win it, but I thought they'd have enough.
I think Real Madrid are significantly weaker than people are making them out to be.
I agree. I think they are poor, but at the same time, Paris Saint-Germain are a Basque case who are facing no real competition, who are rotating heavily, who are relying a lot on 2 players performing and then another player scoring goals. who won't talk to either of those 2 players.
But you're kind of describing Real Madrid in a way as well.
Exactly. So you're having 2 dysfunctional clubs play each other. The only thing that gives Real Madrid a bit of an advantage is that, despite everything Zidane's done, I think he had a pretty excellent transfer record in that he's brought through a lot of young players who aren't really playing that much. The signings he made apart from, say, Asensio, or someone like that who played early on the season now has kind of dried up entirely.
He's coming off the bench more so.
It's a club in transition, and I think that will work against them. But at the same time, they have that experience that outside of Neymar, and you can make an argument for Cavani that PSG simply don't have. They haven't won Champions League, 7 league titles. Other than in France, a lot of this team haven't won them even in France because they're all new the last year.
Well, Mbappe has.
Yeah, I suppose Mbappe has won it at 18.
So, any other hopes maybe for the year?
Let's just hope the World Cup is decent enough and it's not too much football like the Euros was.
Yeah, you'd hope that the World Cup won't suffer from similar problems to the Euros just because there's a variety of teams there.
I don't hold out that the World Cup will be as exciting as Brazil because they won't have the heat that Brazil had that made teams, kind of tired and make more mistakes / take more risks.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot more controlled in a World Cup, a lot more tactical, a lot rougher, I would say. So we'll see how VAR does in this year as well. The other prediction I was going to make, but I thought it was a bit, kind of without, too much substance, would VAR be introduced in the Premier League, and it would, have a rocky start, but then be hailed as, this is great, because as people have made comments before, it's like they have goal line technology in the Premier League now, and they can go back and suspend people for diving. Yeah. So what's the difference between adding in, retrospective bans for bad tackling? Or a little, Sky Sports can do it in a couple of seconds and check whether someone's offside.
Yeah,
why can't
the referee?
Just have that access to that. They do have access to it. They just don't use it.
Yeah.
And that's that was my other hope for the new year, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good year of football anyway that we can all enjoy. That will do us for our predictions that are topic of the show. Join us after the break for another Guess the Player challenge. Welcome back as our final part of the show. Now I call it a Guess the Player challenge, but really we should probably come up with a better name for it. It's
maybe.
Maybe we can think about that for the next week or so. But the way this works is I will give a list of players to Andrew, and they all have a particular teammate in common. And you have to guess who the player is. Now, you can play along at home if you wanted. If you have any suggestions, email us in at the tfpod@gmail.com. And are you ready, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Gianluigi Buffon, Jesper Blomqvist,
Yes.
William Gallas, Carlos Tevez, Luis Figo, Claude Makelele, Esteban Cambiaso.
Okay, so Gianluigi Buffon has played for 3 teams in his career. Yeah. Parma, Juventus, and Italy.
Yeah.
So this player has either played for Parma, played for Juventus, or played for Italy, or any of those combinations.
Yeah.
Jasper Blomqvist, did he play for Manchester United?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I know him. So that makes me immediately think about... I don't know if Blomqvist played for Parma. I'm sure there's a gap in my knowledge. It makes me think, who else played for Parma, that great Parma side that won the UEFA Cup? And Lilian Thuram comes to mind.
Yeah, he did play for that Parma team.
He's not the player in the question.
He's not the player, no.
So that was one of them. Carlos Tevez, then, he's played for a variety of clubs, including Juventus, which I presume is what links Buffon with Tevez. So that makes me think that's a Juventus player then we're looking at. Or a player that has at least played for Juventus.
Okay.
And then the fact that William Gallas is in there makes me think, since he hasn't played for Juventus, makes me think that he is a French player.
Okay.
Claude Makelele is also French. Luis Figo didn't play for Juventus, but played for Portugal, Barcelona, Inter, Sporting, and I've forgotten who else he played.
He played for Real Madrid as well. How could you forget that?
And Esteban Cambiaso, I think, has only played for Inter, Leicester, Argentina.
Yeah, Leicester, obviously. Yeah.
I don't know if he played for. Did he ever play for Real Madrid?
I think he did actually. I can't remember now.
Okay. Well, at this point, outside of either picking Patrick Vieira,
it's not Patrick Vieira,
or Lilian Thuram, I do not know at the moment.
So do you want your first hint?
Yeah.
This player retired in 2012 altogether.
Who retired in 2012? I was thinking Jaap Stam, but I don't think, because he played with Blomqvist and he played, I think, with a few of these players. I could be completely wrong. I think he might have only played with Blomqvist. But for some reason, Jaap Stam jumped out at me.
It's not Jaap Stam.
Not Jaap Stam. No, what's another clue?
Another clue is he won 3 Serie A titles, a Premier League, and a UEFA Cup.
So the UEFA Cup is Parma.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's this player who played with Buffon at Parma. Who? Let's see. It's not World Player of the Year 2006 Fabio Cannavaro.
No.
Because I think he's played with most of these players.
He did play for that Parma team, as far as I know.
He did, and he also played for Real Madrid and Juventus.
Yeah.
So that was and Italy. So that was my go at it. Carlos Tevez, though. So it must be someone who played for Juventus and retired in 2012. Who retired in 2012?
I'm sure a bunch of players did.
A lot of players probably did. Okay, give me another. David Trezeguet?
No, he must have retired. He must have retired before 2012.
No, I don't know, to be honest, but he didn't play for Parma, so that's wrong.
He played in 3 World Cups where they, in the 98, 2002, 2006, reached the quarterfinals twice.
So who reached the quarterfinals? In 2006, I don't remember. In 1998, is it Denmark, Netherlands, Brazil, France, Croatia, Germany? I think that's who reached the quarterfinals.
What about 2002?
2002 was Turkey, South Korea, Spain, Germany, Brazil. And
then in 2006,
Italy, France, Brazil reached but if they only reached the quarterfinals, so they didn't go on beyond that. So it couldn't have been Brazil, couldn't have been France, couldn't have been Italy. So he's not an Italian.
No.
And they're not. Could they be Spanish?
No.
No. Could they be... I don't know. Do you have another clue for me?
He became the world's most expensive player in 2000 for the price of 56 million euros.
And Zinedine Zidane?
No.
56 million euros.
Or maybe I have that wrong.
Luis Figo?
No.
Most expensive player in when?
2000.
2000?
Yeah.
The two most expensive players then...
Oh, no, I must have had that wrong.
Hernan Crespo?
It is Hernan Crespo.
Oh, okay. Because he signed for Lazio from Parma. That was it.
Yeah.
It was a record signing at the time, but it was very quickly beaten. It wasn't that much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was like 30-something.
Yeah, you had me doubting myself there. I was like, I could have sworn I read that right.
Because Figo then became the world's most... And then the following year, Zidane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hernan Crespo.
It is Hernan Crespo. Congratulations.
Thank you. I got there in the end.
Yeah.
He used all the clues.
It was finally a bit more difficult this time than... What was it last week that you got immediately? Was it Thierry Henry?
I don't know. It might have been. I don't know anymore.
It's
too many players.
Yeah, you got it very quickly though, so I decided I'd test you a little more this week.
No, that was a good one.
And it is with that we bring this show to a close. Thank you for listening, and please get in touch, as I mentioned. Email us at thetfpod@gmail.com for any questions on top of the show, maybe, or if you have any suggestions for a guest player, if you have a name even for the game that we play. Follow us on Twitter at the TFPod. Follow me on Twitter at CheesyHarpun, and you can follow Andrew at Conbon27. Please subscribe, rate, and review on whatever platform you use. Spread the word about the show. Tell family, friends, enemies. We don't mind. The more listeners, the merrier. Until next time, Andrew, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it is goodbye from me.